Hi there, Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss American Trading Corporation, and you are tuned into our podcast entitled The Secret War on Cash, where we have been looking at and discussing there's been a lot of war actually, a lot of different battles that have been going on your cash, on my cash, on our cash collectively, and on Chris Agelastos' cash. Chris, my co-host, good morning, Chris. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, good to hear. We have a new president officially in office, and
Yes.
we are off and running. And I tell you what, the this seemingly is probably one of the most significant, let's call it, passing of the torch from presidency to presidency that I've seen in my lifetime. I wasn't quite old enough to remember everything when Reagan took office after Carter, but this was really an emotional election for a lot of people and for a lot of reasons. I think a lot of people are hurting financially. I think that there is just a lot of tension, I guess. And just really people have been feeling the weight of the whole last 4 years of this Biden administration. And in fact, I don't know about you, but I have several friends in their 50s and 60s who yesterday, or excuse me, the inauguration, they, for the first time in their life, tuned in and watched the actual inauguration. And were kicking themselves like, why
Yeah,
haven't I been watching this more often? But this one just, it seemed to hold a lot of weight for a lot of people. That being
yeah,
said, let's get right into what's going on in the economy. It's now, again, this new administration is underway. In our first article, Pillaged by Paper, the American people are going to be paying a high price, they're saying, for years, and that price being associated with the what happened in this recent election and what we've been dealing with in the prior administration, the Biden administration. And it's interesting because we've talked a ton, Chris, about higher taxes, higher inflation, all the things that have really been taking its toll on American households. And they're saying, according to this article, anyways, by Tyler Durden, it really all could have been avoided to some extent. This was in something that was almost being done by design by the government. Is that a fair or accurate description of this?
yeah. I mean, they're talking essentially about the Biden administration, cranking up the printing presses in hopes of, greasing enough wheels to win a reelection. And obviously, as we know now, that didn't work. And I'm glad that it seems like a good portion of the country is kind of excited to see a new administration come in, and they're hopeful for change. But at the same time, we sort of have to accept the reality of what kind of condition the country is left in, and especially economically, for President Trump to come in and fix. So I don't think it's going to be painless. I mean, I like to be optimistic, right? That he's going to come in and make a lot of changes, but the reality is those changes aren't going to affect us immediately. And when you spend as much as the Biden administration did, I mean, I think I read that it was far more than any other previous administration. Um,
Right.
you're going to pay the price with inflation and whatnot. And we are addicted to debt in this country. Our politicians essentially have a checkbook that doesn't run out of checks, and we need to correct that, which will be painful. But the other side of it is Trump really going to do it? I mean, does he want his administration to be responsible for inflicting some of this pain, even though it would be good for us in the long term, right? Like dieting and exercise and doing all the things we should do versus what we want to do.
Right.
Is he going to do that? And at the end of the day, both parties benefit from having this kind of flexibility with the dollar and the printing presses. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I hope he does the right thing, and I hope that it's able to stick, not only through his administration, but through whoever comes in another 4 years, so that we can really get the country back on track.
Yeah, I agree with you. The challenge, it's not something that Trump can just pull the emergency brake and stop, because if he does,
Right.
that has other ramifications or repercussions in the economy.
Hmm.
And I found interesting in this article, it talks about how let there be no confusion about the source of this problem. It's not gouging grocers, meaning the grocery stores that are just charging people more. It's not
Yeah.
consumers being greedy. It's not opportunistic suppliers, not even restrictions on energy production. It is specifically tied to what the printing presses in DC have been doing in printing currency. And
Yeah.
again, that's not something that's just going to Trump will be able to stop overnight. There has to be a solution, a strategic solution, and more than likely, it's going to come at a cost. And with that
Yeah.
being said, the looking here at this next article, Trump has been very vocal in terms of some of the things that he's looking to embark on in terms of tactic and strategy. And as the title here says, gold prices could hit 3,000 if Trump puts his threats to work.
Hmm.
And that's just it. I mean, there's going to be a cause and effect type relationship or equation here as it relates to the economy. And I mean, it's great to hear, being in our business and for our clients and for those of you who are in the process maybe of getting into the gold market. It's great news to hear that you're in a market and an investment that they're in just 3,000 an ounce. That's a pretty conservative estimate compared to many out there,
Right.
but nonetheless, it'd be a tremendous, yet another year of tremendous gain if gold reaching that 3,000 mark.
Hmm.
And it's something that, is like they're saying, if Trump follows through with his word, and he's been pretty good about that, this is an expectation. Is there, I mean, do you see anything contrary to him going through on his following through on his word on his tariff threats, et cetera?
Well, first of all, I think we're going to hit $3,000 an ounce either way, whether he pushes the tariffs or not. Right now, he's certainly using them as a sort of bargaining chip, and it's been effective. I mean, look, it's how much have we heard about these tariffs over the last several months, and other nations are talking about it too. So it has been effective, but whether or not he implements those, I don't know. I think he probably will some, because you have to use a little bit of that leverage in order to show everybody else that you're willing to. So I think we'll see some of it. I don't think it will necessarily be as widespread as he's talking about. But either way, because of the first article we were talking about, just with all the money printing and inflation we've already seen, and we're seeing an uptick again in it. It hasn't really slowed down. I mean, we've talked about how the Fed lowered interest rates more as a political move to try and help the Biden administration when they really probably weren't ready to be lowered yet. So now inflation is ticking back up, and that's one of the big things that it pushes precious metal prices. So
Right.
we're going to see higher numbers either way. I think the real question is, are we going to see 3,000, or are we going to see 3,300 or 3,500? Even though those numbers sound big, it's not really all that big of a percentage increase. We saw it in the last year or so. We could certainly see it again this next year. Gold has really kind of stabilized over the last couple of months and been hovering around this 3,700, or I'm sorry, $2,700 amount. And there's a lot of built up energy there, waiting to break out and cross this $3,000 barrier.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Chris, for those that are tuning in, if they don't want to miss out on this opportunity to capitalize on this gold price of $3,000 or greater, as you said, what can they do to learn more about it? And what can they do to actually invest in gold?
Yeah, well, reach out to us first of all, so we can get some information to you. Probably one of the best ways is to just give us a call or a text at 800-289-2646, or visit the website www.swissamerica.com. We've got some good educational materials on there, but also a section where you can submit your information to request an information packet. And that's really where I would start. We don't expect you to just call up and say, hey, I want to buy some gold. Let's help you understand how it works, how it can benefit you, kind of walk you through the process so that by the time you are ready to do something, you'll be comfortable with it, especially if this is something new, which it is for a lot of people, obviously.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for that, Chris. And we will look forward to. I know this is a topic that's going to be coming up again because it is
Yeah.
front and center in the economy and right it's front and center in Trump's basically his dinner plate at this point. So,
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for tuning in. For those of you who are not subscribed to this channel already, please do so. And we will look forward to bringing more information like this to you in the future. Thanks and have a great rest of your day.